the books. I definitely want to get on your books. Can you tell us and showcase the books you have with us right? You have with us right now.
Yeah, absolutely. So again, the first one that I took, took my time to kind of craft was Black Fatherhood, Trials and Tribulations. And again, this book has taken on a life of its own. And it's been praised by men and women, fathers and mothers, people even with no kids, because it's an eye opener. And I think that it helps to humanize Black families, Black men, Black women, Black children. Okay, maybe I can do some more. So I went from writing for adults to now writing for children. The next book that I wrote after that was this book, Little Brother. It's based on a true story, based on watching my kids and nieces and nephews play around and that type of thing, right? And also from my childhood, I have a younger brother. I'm the big brother. He's the little brother, right? And the little brother always kind of follows around what the big brother does, or what the older siblings do, the big cousins or whomever. So this book was written again as a tribute to the kids in my life, but also because I always read such negative statistics about literacy with our young children, Black and brown, and school to prison pipeline and things of that sort. And I wanted to try to disrupt that pipeline. So again, we're empowering the Black race. We're empowering the Black diaspora through books. And Little Brother is kind of my first book for children. And it's been successful in taking a life of its own. And from Little Brother, I knew, look, I can't have one without the other. We got to do Little Sister. That's right. So we have one for the female main character, where the little sister now becomes kind of the one who follows her older brother and older sister around, and they try to teach her responsibility and chores and things of that sort. So the kids have been loving these books. Schools and community groups have been loving those books, and I'm very fortunate that I went into the kids space in that regard. And I'm a girl dad. I couldn't have girls and not have something for the sister, right? The little sister. So again, it's kind of based on the true story. I knew also that I wanted to impact the Latinx and the Afro-Latinx population. So we have Hermanito, which is little brother in Spanish, right? And this book is written bilingual, one side English, one side Spanish for our dual language learners. So we're looking at, those who speak two languages or more or want to learn two languages or more. I've even seen adults say this book made some sense to them because they want to learn Spanish. So, and then again, not only do we have Hermanito, but we have Hermanita, which is again, little sister in Spanish and English, bilingual books. So I went into writing books for kids, and I'm going to continue writing books for kids too, because as a higher education practitioner, once your son or daughter or your student, your niece or your nephew gets into my class and they're 19, 20, it's a little tough to teach them the basics of literacy. They may be 20 years old, but reading at a 12-year-old reading level. Sometimes that happens. I want to try to disrupt that early on, at 6, at 5, at 8. And I want to write some engaging books that'll help our young people want to read and want to pick up books. And that's why I went into writing these books for kids. So Little Brother, Little Sister, Hermanita, and Hermanito. This last one that I have with me, Black Voices from the Ivory Tower, is really about the Black experience in higher education. Students, faculty, and staff, and some administrators poured into this for me. And it's our experience as Black people coming out of this George Floyd situation, coming out of Breonna Taylor and Ahmaud Arbery and the violence that we saw in 2020 and the pandemic and things of that sort. But how that impacted us as Black people specifically, right? On our higher education campuses. But also not just how that impacted us, but how we give solutions and suggestions and best practices to colleges and universities on how to better include us, how to better involve us, how to give us a sense of belonging that oftentimes is not there on these campuses. So Black Voices from the Ivory Tower is a workbook. There's question and answer in here. there's questions to answer in the little kids books as well. But there's some question and answer that you can take back to your job, to your corporate office, to your college, your campus, that'll help you really serve your black students and also incorporate your black colleagues in a much better way. And this is also a film. So we came out with the Black Voices from the Ivory Tower film in addition to the workbook. So yeah, those are just some of the books that I brought with me today. There's some others out there. You can Google them under my name, Khalid White, and some things will pop up, Amazon and other places like that. But these are the ones that I brought today. But yeah, I've been fortunate, man, to really find some self-confidence in the pen. It goes back to reading those Jet and Ebony and Essence and Vibe and, you know, reading those articles from front to back and, oh, the way he articulated this sounds so good. Oh, the way that she wrote this and put this together. You know, looking at the editor and who did this article, who did the op-eds. That stuff was intriguing to me. And now I'm kind of using it and put it into practice for myself. So it comes full circle. Yeah.
Oh, man. Thank you. Very powerful. Very powerful. Man, I gotta go get some books for my nephew, my goddaughters. Shout out to my man Savalis, is my best friend. He got 3 little girls, so I got something for them for their birthday. So thank you. Also, yeah, the Hermanita. Oh man, I think that is a great idea. Not only for, you know, the dual language people, but that's also another way for young African American kids or others who don't speak Spanish can pick it up and start learning Spanish. So, yo, that's powerful. Hats off to you. Yes, hats off to you for that. Yeah, I'm gonna add those to my collection. And I would say the Black Voices on LinkedIn. I've seen you and other educators chatting about it and posting it, and I was like, oh man, I got to check that out. Just about navigating. What has been your favorite film that you have produced so far? As well, what has been your favorite book that you have written?
That's a hard question to answer. My favorite book that I've written, my favorite film that I've produced. I mean, I love them all, you know, for different reasons. I would say that this is my new favorite book and film that I've produced and written because it's the newest one. It's like my newest baby. But they're all babies to me. They're all, you know, things that I love and hold dear. I will say this. Black Fatherhood was the first one. Black Fatherhood book and film has probably gone the furthest, you know, in terms of internationally, and then also in terms of having impact. And people still to this day hit me up out the blue. Hey, I just read this Black Fatherhood book. Like, you know, this is not new. I mean, the book itself is not new. It's almost, I think I wrote it in 2016. So, you know, that's several years ago. But the impact is still fresh and new for a lot of people. The kids love Little Brother. The kids love Hermanito. You know what I mean? So I love getting their feedback. And, you know, when I go do events at the schools and they give me hugs and high fives, like there's no better feeling than that. You know what I mean? So I can't choose one. I love them all. But at the same time, I think my best work is still out there. So it's still to come. But right now, my favorite one is Black Voices from the Ivory Tower, the book and the film. I think I had an incredible videographer that helped me on the film, and some incredible help on this book. The book includes 15 students and their experiences, sharing their experience, 15 black students, college students. The book also includes, the Black Voices book includes 15 black students, college students. It also includes 35 black professionals up and down California, 2-year schools, 4-year schools, and all points in between, from Northern California all the way to Southern California. Because as you were mentioning, it's tough being black and navigating these systems. Whether we're talking about the college system, the corporate system, the nonprofit world, whether we're talking about finance and being in the business world, whether we're talking about the tech world, black skin is almost a reason why somebody's not going to give you an opportunity or somebody wants to take something from you. Not anything that you've done or not anything that you haven't done. It's just that there's stereotypes that are so pervasive and the anti-blackness is so pervasive everywhere that we even start believing about ourselves. You know what I mean? And it's tough. So I think this Black Voices book, especially coming out of the experiences of George Floyd and Breonna Taylor and Ahmaud Arbery and others, is captured in here. What that did to us, how that hurt us, but also how we can provide some solutions. We give some practical things that companies and your boss, your manager, colleges, libraries can do to make Black people feel welcomed in their space. And once we feel welcome, you're going to get our best. Sky's the limit. You're going to get all this creativity that we've been given. You've never seen us at our best. We've always been kept at our worst, systemically. Imagine if we were given a chance to be operating at 100% as opposed to operating at 30% battery.
Whole different game.
Whole different everything. All right. So get the knee off our neck and let us operate in some ways that we're able to flourish, and you'll have a whole different world because we impact the world.
Yeah. Clearly. And yeah, really, because now pop culture is really just like Black culture at the end of the day. Far cry from about 20 years ago. You know, you see NSYNC, Backstreet Boys. Now hip hop has eclipsed that.
NSYNC and the Backstreet Boys were. NSYNC and the Backstreet Boys were influenced by New Edition and the Jackson 5 and Boyz II Men. You know.